I was saying, when you're in an argument with someone, you are going to say whatever you can say, and whatever you are aware will hurt the person the most. Like, that's just kind of like how it goes. You know that saying a specific thing will hurt that person, so you want to hurt them like they hurt you. And with the state that he was with being so emotionally distraught, that was all he was doing. That was his goal, right? But yes, I understand that Rachel and Sarah are kids, but also I feel like it's also important to note that they're not children. Like, sure, their age, all right, whatever, but I think we've all said it before that they're pretty mature for their age, and I don't think we need to just act like they're 10 years old and can't handle real world shit. Like, they can. They've dealt with, they, like, I don't, not that they've dealt with it before, but like, they are capable and able, you know? And it's like they've said certain things themselves that are things that they shouldn't be saying for their age, but because of their mental maturity, they've said certain things that it's like, okay, I understand why you said that. But like, I feel like sometimes you tend to kind of like downsize their age to make it seem like they're little tiny thing, two little tiny like girls that can't take any stress or something like that. But that's, and I'm not trying to argue, I'm just saying, but that's really not the case with them, because like, I think I feel like I can say this because it's kind of true. Like, we have been around them. Obviously, you guys are a whole family. You have a house and everything. You have jobs and everything. So I get it. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, but like, we have been around them a lot more than either you or Dwayne have. Even when you had left for college. Since then, I'd been around them a lot more than you have been. You know, when they're at the age of like talking back, being disrespectful and whatever. And I remember sometimes you've knocked me down. You've like gotten upset with me for yelling at them or getting mad at them for doing something that they shouldn't do or acting a certain way. But it's because you haven't really been around enough to understand why certain things are at the level that they're at. So with them, like, there's been multiple instances where they have been insanely disrespectful to mommy and daddy, for even if they just ask them a question. They're so much better now. Like, Rachel and Sarah have really turned a leaf over. But the reason that they've turned a leaf over is because me, Tommy, mommy, and daddy, we all sat them down and had to talk with them about their behavior. And luckily, it finally had gotten through to them that they were just acting out of turn. Rachel still kind of would act out of turn with daddy before she went to college, but I get it. She just wanted to get out the house. So I get it. I get why she was the way it was. That's what we had told daddy too. It's like, when she goes to college, she's going to be better, in terms of her attitude. So for him, he got so upset with them because this has been something that has happened before, specifically with Sarah. That's why she got a harsher reaction than even Rachel did, because Sarah would say, really, obviously because of me, because we had talked about it before, and so she felt that it was okay to say it around me. But obviously, it's not okay to say it around the person that is directly related to the person that we had said that negative things about. But she had said one time, like, something was all of his mom. Like, she was like, blame your mother or something like that, because Charlotte's like christening thing didn't happen because it was tied to a building that they're making being done, and it wasn't done in time. So Sarah was like, well, blame your mother. And she just has said so many inappropriate things to his face. So all of, like, his reaction from the last incident, that was because it had been building up so much, because he would always hold his tongue, you know, when Sarah would say these things. Like, he'd talk to me and have me ask me to talk to her about it because it was inappropriate, and I would obviously always ask her to apologize to him. But when she would say it, it didn't really ever seem sincere. Like, one time he gave her $200 for nothing because he gave Rachel $400 because she was going to school. So he was like, oh, I can't give Rachel something and not Sarah. I was telling him, no, Sarah's not going anywhere. You don't need to give her money. But he wanted to do it anyway, and he did it anyway. And so he gave her $200. What did Sarah do? She whispered, thank you, and then and then when I asked her about it later, why she didn't like actually say thank you properly, she said that she was just really tired. He was like, oh, that doesn't seem truthful at all to me. She could have said thank you. You're not that tired. She was awake. You're not that tired that you can't say thank you for someone giving you $200 as a 16-year-old. So he just was like, okay, it's fine. And then she apologized to him. He said it's okay, and then we moved on from there. Everything was fine, you know. So for you, I'm not, and I don't want you to think that I'm attacking you or anything. I'm just trying to shed some light on the incident for you and Dwayne to kind of go to him and be like, oh, your true colors are showing. Oh, this has really disappointed me. Oh, basically overall saying that he's a horrible person and you just don't like him anymore, in layman's terms. It's not really fair, because there has been because like I just said, there have been so many incidents where Rachel and Sarah have done the wrong thing. Nothing was said about it. I would sometimes go to them, ask them to apologize to him, and then we'd let it go. But like, not only that, there have been so many incidents in the past where he has literally done so much for them. Every time we go up there, he's like, okay, Rachel, Sarah, pick a restaurant, each of you, anywhere you want to go, we'll go to it. Whether it's in the city, whether it's nearby, Long Island, anywhere. Pick a restaurant you want to go to, we'll go to it. And he pays for everything. Rachel's at the age where she can pay for stuff, but no, he doesn't let her pay. I say she should pay. And I'm telling the wholehearted truth right now. Like, this is, if I was gonna lie, I would amp up this whole entire thing. Like, I would make it seem like I'd be like, oh, he gave him $1,000 if I was gonna lie. But I'm not lying. I'm telling the complete truth. He has done so much for them, and then to be hurt the way that he was by what they said. Mind you, I still recognize I included them in it, I involved them in it. It's mainly on me. But for him to then read messages that they were saying, and after everything he had done for them, it was heart-shattering. Not even heartbreaking, heart-shattering. Because he didn't have to do any of that stuff for them. So I just don't really like that you and Dwayne are kind of condemning him when you don't know. This is what I meant when I said earlier that, are you sure you know the whole story? When you don't know the whole story, really. You don't know our relationship with Rachel and Sarah. You don't know what we've dealt with them in terms of how they've disrespected mommy and daddy, and we've seen it, and we've talked to them before on our own, and they still didn't change. You don't know all the things that we've done for them just because we're there and we're like, oh, we can now because we're closer to you now. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. We'll take you here. We'll take you there. How many times have we had to pick up Rachel from school because she wasn't feeling well? So we picked her up from school. If we weren't there, her other option would be what? Stay at school and deal with it. You know, like. And I'm not saying that the good should excuse the bad, but I'm saying that the bad shouldn't take the good from here and bring it down to like zero. You know, like, there's been so much good that it's like what had happened should only take it down a couple notches. It shouldn't bring the whole thing down completely, because that's not fair. And like Dwayne had said to him, what do you say? Like, your true colors are showing. Out of the 99% of times that he has seen, that Dwayne himself has seen and hung out and talked to and interacted with Tommy, it's like he's saying that all of that was bullshit, and his true colors are to be angry and yelling and saying disrespectful things. No, that's not fair. There was something horrible was said about his family, so he's reacting in the way that he felt. Like, and I don't think you guys would. I'm really surprised by you guys' reaction with everything, because I would think that you guys would want to reach out to me or him and like know the whole story and know everything, but you only got really Rachel's side. And also, only if you talk to daddy, you also only got daddy's side. Him himself doesn't know everything. Like, he didn't even read all the messages that we had said about Tommy's family. So, you know, that kind of upsets me, really. Yeah, and I also don't like in a relationship, you know, you're older than me, you've been in other relationships before. In a relationship, like, you can't, there's gonna be arguments, there's gonna be incidents. What happened between me and Tommy, that's not an isolated incident that other couples have never experienced before. If anything, multiple couples have experienced it before. Like, you guys yourselves, you guys have had your own share of issues in your relationship that the whole family unfortunately had ended up being involved in and knowing about and feeling the strains of it and everything. Like when like that white guy came into the picture and everything. Like, so it's not really fair to act like, for lack of a better word, like holier than thou with then in regards to like what we went through when you guys, along with other people, mentioned his mommy and daddy even, have gone through their own share of arguments in the relationship. And it also kind of upsets me that you felt the need. I mean, I appreciate you being there for me and wanting to help me make me feel better and wanting to just protect me. I appreciate that and I love you for that. But it seemed like you were just so quick to tell me to like come home and like forget about my relationship, especially a relationship where a baby is involved. Like, I wanted to fight for my relationship, and I would think that if you and Dwayne had, God forbid, gotten to anything similar to what we had gone through, like the incident that had occurred with us, that you would also do what you could to salvage your relationship for the sake of your children and for the sake of your partner and loving them and having gone through so many things with them. Like, I bet that if Dwayne did something horrible to you, such as like, I don't know, beat up daddy, that's like the extreme. Like, say like he beat up daddy. No, okay, that's too extreme. Say he like said like horrible shit about daddy. Like, he's a bad father, he's a bad man, he cheated on his wife, he cheats on his wife all the time, he has another kid somewhere else that he's not even taking care of, blah 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 blah. If he said that, in the moment you only see red, right? You'll be mad at him about it. Maybe for you, being female, being who you are, you'd be able to calmly have a conversation with him about why he said it and everything like that. But would you break up with him over it? Probably not, because your relationship has experienced so many goods that bad is in a sense an isolated incident that it would bring down. Like, yes, your love for him would remain the same, but your feelings towards him, they might be brought down a couple notches because of that incident, but they're not going to go to zero, because in the end you would still love him, you would still know all the things he had done for you in the past, all the things you guys have done for each other, all the things you guys have experienced together. Like, all of that still matters in the wake of a really stressful and emotionally hard argument, issue, situation, you know? So I just want, if you could also show this to Dwayne too. I don't want to make you guys mad, I don't want to upset you guys, but I just think that it's only fair for all parties that everyone, that you guys know the full story, you know, especially since you guys are so far away and we don't see you frequently, you know, like, it's not fair for you guys to really chime in on something when you don't know everything. So that's all I wanted to share with you. I'm grateful for everything that you did, trying to be there for me, and how you said you looked up flights and everything to come get me, possibly, and I really appreciate it all. But in regards to how you feel about Tommy, I hope this will help reshape your mindset about just choosing to be simply cordial around him, because now that I've told you, you know, but there's been so many things that have led up to this, and so many things that disregarded all of the little things, all the little bad things that Rachel and Sarah have ever said about him or to him or around him, that got canceled out because he just chose to like ignore those things, let those things go, and just and still continue to do all this good and nice, kind, sweet things, spending so much money on them, spending time with them, literally allowing us to go, finding time for us to always travel up to New York, because he knows how important it is for me to see my family a lot, being that I moved down to Georgia. So this is not to make you angry, but it's just to explain, because I think it's really important that you guys know everything, because if anything, I think you guys would know the least in regards to how Rachel and Sarah have been in the past. Lastly, like, obviously they didn't deserve what happened, and it was really bad, and like I said, he's apologized to them for it, but it's just like food for thought, because I don't think anyone would find it fair to make this isolated incident his identity, because it's not whatsoever, because he has done so much more that I'm even able to easily forgive this situation, because it's not like he just did it out of the blue. It had been building up, and then what he found in those messages was really bad and really horrible to say about someone's family. So yeah, it's not his character, And also he's even starting to like go to therapy again because he realizes that his anger issues have escalated to a state that he doesn't want it to. And I also think that's important, to realize that you did wrong and to want to change it and make yourself better. So I just would really appreciate it if you guys could just give him a second chance now that you know everything, because this is not who he is. This is just him seeing red, which granted he that was he's allowed to have that based on what was said. So yeah, love you guys.